Yeah. Yeah, we was born, we was sold, got the blood of ancestors that used to be on. U.P.K soldiers, we the ones who broke the mold. Take a hood nigga, turn into a piece of fine gold. The you fast, the same cats who run up in your house with a black bag. Used to never do good, now we can't do bad. That's why every time I touch the mic, know I do spaz. My nigga, they said I'm a bad cat. Rolling with the general, sipping that scratch cash. Boot spray, this nigga flying in first class. That U.P.K bandit, be flying at high mass. Take ground, all over the atlas. These fake groups, nigga, know they will not last. You niggas ain't what was it? You ain't getting no pass. If you got a problem, you can kiss my whole black ass. And if you tryna jump shit, then this is your last chance. This that war music, but they cooking up slow jams. I don't give a fuck what niggas think, I just go ham. These niggas on the net and they be acting like hoes, man. And with that back and forth shit, bitch, I'm a grown man. I ain't need a strap, I got hands like Conan. So come correct to watch your words when you a post man. You became no cowards, only if you're a nomad. So you can lay down or you can get with the program, you bitch nigga. I will book that trick, nigga. You don't want the smoke, I will like that rich nigga. You sick, nigga. I be talking really lynch, nigga. That's why your doctor don't fix niggas. Talking slicker when we see you face to face. You shitting bricks, nigga. 30 seconds, you snitch, nigga. Got a problem? Well, which nigga? Take your pick, nigga. Step up and sit down when you bitch, nigga. But don't surrender, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause you know we smack clowns. Got killers chilling in the background right now. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, no, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, and we won't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down.
Ain't no backing down, none you not in town. Pass the crap, have me whoop your ass, bleed a seed. They come back around, hating on us, that ain't lucrative. Ain't no duplicate, roll up on you in the Uber, bitch. All that stupid shit, fuck the foolishness. Keep the hammer like I'm too legit. Be a kind of exotic clip, let the llama spit. Rip apart your whole conglomerate, we just dominant. Real life souls for Christ, that's who I'm rhyming with. Lyrical anomaly, student a rap prodigy. For your body, bitch, you should safely up economically. But real is obsolete and the fake is taking a higher seat. So I'm cutting ties and cutting throats. I gotta be U.P.K to the death. Who wanna follow me? March with them K's and Z's. I bring the cavalry, bring an nominee. He can't see me, he need optometry. They ain't got the vision, I bury my opposition. Carry my fallen warriors and my spirit is risen. Niggas is pushing lies, confusing with politicians. They talking about building walls, I'm breaking barriers. Listen, with every verse that I log in the database of my wisdom for every brother that's called and breaking weight in this nation. I know that you had it hard, I know about the life you living, and I ain't backing down for shit. Just keep on wishing, never turn my back on my brothers. I never will hold it down for my brothers still waiting on that appeal. Hold your crown, hold your head, even though it's a heavy crown. Keep it real, even if it's deep water, you never drown. U.P.K the team, and we here to defend the title. Murder any camp in our class, I'll check the vitals. We live in every word, we the prophets about the Bible. And only thing soft is the trigger pull on his rifle.
There's no surrender, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause you know we smack clowns. Got killers chilling in the background right now. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, no, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, and we won't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down.
I represent true niggas with crucial intent. No excuses, just remain ruthless. These niggas, how they get loose with this pen, I never back down. Too many soldiers in the background. Righteous man put the strap down. It's happening now. I call shots who the captain now. Graduated with in the war. One throws in the crown, put the captain down. Listen, these niggas only hard on the timeline. When you see them, they on deck time. Ain't no wreck, we can exchange blows till you capsize. Or you ready to die, I'm thinking likewise. Cause you never go to war with the other rise. Niggas should've held his tongue, I ain't trying to run. Ain't no fear in this black man. And before being coward, I flatline, nigga. Live by the law, die by the letter. Uphold this priest life that I chose for the better. Straight road, strictly spitting flow for the cheddar. Go to war anywhere, whenever, with whoever. War like stairs. I keep studs and spikes all over my clothes, it's like shredder. And if I die, I'll be sure that my soul ain't got no error. It ain't got no gutter. Ain't got no love for niggas and mascara. Pink painted rappers. So absurd, I keep my word till I deserve my vendetta. Cause these niggas ain't fit. It's been a bit of liquor with the warriors I roll with. It's you. I know they mad that we made it. Can't be corrected off the swing. Know what it is, get with it and get fake.
There's no surrender, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause you know we smack clowns. Got killers chilling in the background right now. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, no, we don't back down. Better watch what you say, cause we don't back down. Don't back down, and we better watch what you say, cause we don't back down.
Shalom. We're the I.S.U.P.K. Start. Y'all by Shem, y'all shop rock a thumb to all the brothers. Y'all from all the thumb by Shem, y'all shop to all the sisters. We're the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible since 1969. All right. Clap it up for class. Started. And the truth is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites that the Bible speaks about. Because when you read the Bible, it's all about bloodlines and different families, right? It's all about the Israelites, but in our dealings with other nations, right? It's all about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and Black, Hispanic, and Native American history book. But it has dealings with other nations. That's where you get all the other nations that's in the Bible. There's 18 nations in the Bible. There's 18 nations in the Bible, and Esau is one of those nations that we had dealings with, right? Esau is one of those nations that we had dealing with. We're going to go all the way from the beginning so we can run through first about who Esau is and where Esau comes from, right? And then we're going to get into Esau's crimes, the crimes that he committed against the Israelites and the crimes that he committed against the crime that he committed against God, right? Because when you do crimes against the Israelites, you're going against what the Most High had put down, the rulership, right? Let's go ahead and start off. All right. Give me Genesis. Give me Genesis chapter 4. Give me Genesis chapter 4. Right, because first we have to start off with Cain. Cain is the spirit of Esau. Cain has the spirit of Esau, right? Or Esau has the spirit of Cain, but Cain came first. Cain was that first murderer that we ever saw, the first that first wicked man that wanted to be against the Most High. Right? Yeah, Genesis chapter 4. We can start at verse 8. Go ahead, read.
And Cain.
Wait. Make sure you call. You got to call it out.
Salakia. Genesis chapter 4, verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
Right. Okay, so now you know how we have Adam and Eve, right? And then they had Adam was the first man that dealt in God's laws, that dealt with the Most High's instructions, right? There was plenty of people on the planet before Adam, but Adam was the first one that the Most High dealt with, right? And so Cain, so Eve, Adam, the Most High made Eve for Adam, right? He made him a woman, and then they had 2 sons, Cain and Abel, right? Go ahead. So
chapter 9, right?
Yeah, verse 9.
Sparky.
Is it on? Testing. Can you hear me? All right. Somebody told me it was off.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother?
Right. Hold stop. So now Cain, now the Lord, the Most High came to Cain, right? And he's asking Cain, like, so where's Abel? Where Abel at? This is after Cain. Matter of fact, go to verse 7. Hold on. Yeah, go to verse 7, because I think verse 7 is when they
verse 10.
I'll go to verse 2.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel.
Right.
And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Right. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 3. In the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offering unto the Lord.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
All right. So Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel. Right. And in Cain, he brought some fruits and vegetables and something stuff from the earth to offer to the Most High. But then Abel, he brought the fat, his fat firstling of the sheep and of his flock. He brought the good stuff of his flock. And the Lord didn't want Cain's sacrifice, but he wanted Abel's sacrifice. That's where all the jealousy come in on how Cain wanted to kill Abel. Keep going.
Verse 6.
No, we're verse
5.
Yes.
Hey,
slow down while you're reading too. Reading a little too fast. All right.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Right. So Cain was upset. He was sad, and his countenance fell. So he wasn't the same old Cain. No, he wasn't the same Cain no more. Now he was just like he was vexed. Right. Keep going. Verse 7.
Verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
Right. So that's why now we know why Cain killed Abel, why Cain slew Abel, because his Abel's offering was accepted by the Lord and Cain's offering wasn't. Right. And Cain and like any Edomite, they were upset about it, just like Esau. They were upset about it and they lashed out emotionally. Right. And he killed his brother. He's murdered his brother. Right. Keep going. This is the first murder recorded in the Bible. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Right. Ain't that something that they're gonna say? Is am I my brother's keeper? You know what I'm talking about? Like, am I supposed to know where my brother is? Yes, you're supposed to know where your brother is. Yes, you're supposed to know where your brother is. Like just like now, the so-called Jewish man, right? The so-called Jewish man says that he's Jewish, right? But Jewish is short for Jew, and that's only one tribe of the Most High, right? It's a lie. Because he's not the real Jew, but that's only one tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. If he would know, if he was his brother's keeper, right, or if he would love his brother like he's supposed to, he would know where the rest of his brothers are, right? Where the rest 11, 12, or where 11 tribes are, but he does not know, right? And all you have to do is ask a so-called Jewish man, and he don't know. We're here in I.S.U.P.K. We know where all 12 tribes are. We know where everywhere our brothers are, right? Keep going.
Verse 10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
Right. Because the Most High knows all things. And he knows something was going on, and Abel's blood was crying to the Most High from the ground because it was a wicked thing that Cain killed Abel, right? Just like how they murdered Trayvon Martin, right? Edomites murdered Trayvon Martin. It's an evil thing then. Just like they murdered George Floyd, it's an evil thing then. How they murdered Botham John, walked in his house while the man was eating ice cream and murdered him inside of his own home. It's an evil thing. Just like they did Breonna Taylor and shot her up. Evil thing. Right? Keep going.
Verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth,
right,
which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Right. So it says now you are cursed from the earth. You feel me? You're cursed from the earth, Cain. Right? Keep going.
Verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
Stop. So it says now when you till it the ground, it won't give you anything from the ground. That's why now when you go to Israel, right? When we was in our land, it was a fertile land. We grew everything there, right? It had a whole bunch of animals there, but now when you go there, it looks like a desert land. Why? Is because people that's not us are in that land, or really the descendants of it's the spirit of Cain that's in that land. Keep going.
A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth.
Hold that. Give me you got your phone? Google Vagabond. Vagabond. So it says now, Cain, you're going to be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, right? A fugitive is somebody that's on the run, right? We know what a fugitive is. It's somebody that's on the run. Now we're about to get vagabond for you in the dictionary, so you can know what a vagabond is, right? Going slow. Hold on. You got it? All right. Is it the pop up? Let me see what you're saying. Here, right here.
Vagabond. To wander. A word used in the curse pronounced upon Cain.
Hold on. So it says to wander, right? Go ahead. Like somebody that's wandering around, don't know where to go. Go ahead.
Okay. A word used in the curse pronounced upon Cain.
Right, because that's what he says, cursed upon a Cain. That's what we're reading right now. Go ahead.
Genesis 4:12 and 14. The plural form is found in the imprecatory prayer in Psalm 109:10. The sorcerers mentioned in Acts 19:13 as vagabond Jews were professional exorcists.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, where it says wanderer, I wanted that dictionary out of the phone, but it's all good. So a wanderer is, a vagabond is like somebody that's on the run, somebody that's wandering from place to place, trying to escape judgment, like a fugitive.
Salakia. This is Merriam-Webster's dictionary. The definition of vagabond: a person who wanders from place to place without a fixed home, one leading a vagabond life.
Right. That's what it is. It's somebody that's traveling from place to place, trying to find somewhere to fit in because they can't fit in nowhere. All right. Now let's go back to the scriptures. So now Cain is on the run. Cain is on the run from his judgment from the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
And
Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Right. He says, my punishment is greater than I can bear. What can I do, Lord? What can I do? Go ahead.
Verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid.
Right. Hold on. He said, so now you driven me out from the face of the earth. Right. I can't go nowhere where nobody won't know what I did. Right. Go ahead.
And from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth.
Right. I should be a wanderer and somebody that's on the run, right? In the earth. I'm gonna be the only one that's on the run that's a wanderer that don't belong anywhere because you can't be here with your family no more because you murdered your brother. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Right. Everyone that findeth Cain shall slay him, shall kill him. Right. Keep going.
Verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
It says what? Vengeance should be taken on him sevenfold.
Yes, Salakia. Therefore whoever slayeth Cain,
right,
vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
Right. So that's why when something happens, we're gonna go back to that later on in the story because I don't want to give it up yet. Go ahead.
And the Lord set a mark upon Cain.
A mark upon Cain, right? So a mark upon Cain, right? So that way, keep going.
Lest any finding him should kill him.
Right. So he said a mark upon Cain, showing that anybody that find him should kill him, right? So, but now we know that anybody that take vengeance against Cain, things are going to happen to them sevenfold. They should be revenged sevenfold, right? So now that Cain is meant for people not to hurt Cain, because that vengeance is coming from the Lord only. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod.
Give me Nod in here, in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Right, because this is all leading up to who Esau is, because Esau is the rebirth of Cain. Right, Esau is the rebirth of Cain, and then Edomites are Esau's descendants. I hope we can get it all in this one class. I don't think so. It's 20 minutes into it. We got to keep going. Right.
Nod.
All right.
Wandering, a district eastward from Eden to which Cain went in his wandering.
All right. So Nod means wandering. That's what Nod means, right? Wandering.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Nod means wandering. Now, okay. Now we're gonna get the descendants of Cain. Go down to Genesis 4 and 23. We're in the same chapter. We just gonna run through the chapter real quick because we gotta get the understanding of Cain.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 23. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old.
Genesis 4.
I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession.
Genesis 4 and 23.
Salakia.
We going there too though.
Salakia. Genesis 4, chapter 4, verse 23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech.
Stop. So Lamech is Cain's grandson, right? And Cain has, Lamech has the same spirit that Cain had because that's one of his descendants. Keep going.
Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding.
He has did what?
He has slain a man to my wounding.
See, he's slain a man too. That's the second murder that's talked about in the Bible. That's the second murder that's talked about in the Bible. So the first murder was done by Cain. The second murder was done by Lamech, right? Cain's grandson, right? So you can see how it's hereditary. That murder is hereditary. That killing is hereditary in Cain's family. Go ahead.
And a young man to my hurt.
Right. And it was a young man. Keep going.
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
Right. So it's saying if Cain's gonna be avenged sevenfold, then Lamech's gonna be avenged 70 and sevenfold. Right. So that means nobody's gonna be able to do nothing to him, or they're gonna get if he kills 7 men, they're gonna kill the Lord's gonna deal with them 77 times that. Right. Keep going.
Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Right, because because Abel was a chosen seed, and then Cain killed him. So that now he needed another chosen seed. Now we got Seth, and Seth is where Noah comes from. Let's go down to Genesis 25. Now we're about to get the birth of Esau, the rebirth of Cain, right? Genesis 25, and we can get start at 21. Now it's about to get deep. Now we're finna find out who Esau is or what Esau is.
Genesis chapter 25. Salakia.
21.
Salakia. Genesis chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Right. So Rebecca couldn't have babies at first. So then Isaac went to the Lord like we're supposed to do, and then because she couldn't have kids, but then she conceived. Right. Keep going.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Right. So she went to inquire because she could feel something going on inside of her womb. She's pregnant. So she could feel something going on inside of her womb, and it seems like they were in there wrestling and fighting because it's inside of her womb and it's starting to hurt. So she went to talk to the Lord about it. And verse 23, this is what the Lord said. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
It says what?
2 nations are in thy womb.
It says 2 nations are in thy womb. 2 different nations are in thy womb. Go ahead.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
No, 2 manner of people should live together.
2 men of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So she got 2 different nations inside of her womb. She have 2 different types of people in her womb, right? 2 different nations, 2 types of people, 2 nationalities, 2 types of people inside of her womb, and they're fighting. They're struggling inside of her, and they're going to be separated. They're not going to be living together here in America, like the they're going to be living here together in peace and harmony. They're going to be struggling. They're going to be struggling against each other, right? Go ahead.
And the elders shall serve the younger.
And the what?
And the elders shall serve the younger.
Uh-huh. No.
Salakia. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Uh-huh.
And the elders shall serve the younger.
Right. So one people are going to be stronger than the other people, and then the elders should serve the younger, right? You got to remember that because that's a key part in this breakdown. Go ahead.
Verse 24.
Uh-huh.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
So when the days that she used to be the babies to be delivered, it was twins in her womb. So she didn't know there was twins in her womb, but the angel did, and the angel told her, and they didn't have any sonograms or anything like that to find 2 heartbeats. So when it happened, it was like, dang, the angel was right, because the angel's always right? They come in the spirit of the Most High, right? And there were twins in her womb, so there was 2 different people in her womb, 2 different nations, 2 types of people in her womb, right? Keep going.
And verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in the room. Verse 25. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment.
Right. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, right? What people on the planet right now are red and hairy?
That gotta be the correct white folks.
Right. There's only one type of people on this planet that's red and hairy all over like a hairy garment, right? Finish that off.
Salakia.
You could go start at 25 again.
And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
All right. Give me in the Vagabond Bible dictionary the color red. Give me red in the Zondervan Bible dictionary. Red. Let's see what they say about the color red. Right, but there's only one people on the planet that's red and hairy, because they might call themselves white folks now because they're trying to escape their judgment, and they just so you wouldn't so Black, Hispanics, Native Americans in the world wouldn't know who they are from the Bible, but we know who they are because they're not really white. There's nobody on this planet white, and there's nobody on this planet that's black. My shirt is black, but my skin color is not black. I'm just a shade of different shades of brown, right? Like all people on the earth. But there's one people on the earth that's different from everybody else.
Red, a blood-like or blood-red color.
Uh-huh.
The adjective red is applied to the following items: the badger skins dyed red which form the outward covering of the tabernacle.
No, keep going.
The color of the human skin.
Right.
Red sores, wine, Salaki. The color of sin.
The what?
The color of sin.
It says red, the color of sin. All right, we could be done with that for right now. We're gonna come back to that later. No, so we're gonna get it back in the Bible. So it says the color of sin, right? So the color of sin. That's what red is, the color of sin. And if you look at the world, when you look at a stoplight, with the green light means go, and the red light means what? Stop. Right? You look at a stop sign, it's red, stop. Anything that has a warning on it, warning, it's red. Right? So that's why they're red all over like a hairy garment, because they're really red. They're red people. They're not white people. They're red people. What we call them down south, rednecks. Right? They hold their breath. They turn red, pink. Right? So they're not really white people. They're really red people. And they're the color of sin. Right? And we know red means stop. Red means warning. Red means don't go near it. Right? So what was that? So if Esau is the spirit of Cain, right? Has a spirit of Cain, and Cain had a mark on himself, right? That he can be known from everybody else on the planet. What is that? What is that mark of Esau? What is that mark of Cain?
Salakia. So that gotta be his skin.
Right, it got to be his skin. He's the only person that can't, the only people on the planet that can't stay in the sunlight, or they'll get burned naturally. So they're not really they're supposed to be, we're supposed to look at that and know that they're not like everybody else on the planet.
Right.
That's why they changed their color from being red or to being Edomites and stuff like that, and they try to change their nationality. That's why they go different places. Like they're not the real German. They just took over Germany, took over where Germany was, what was the land of Gaul, and they called them the Germanic tribes in Gaul, right? And they took over that land, and they started calling themselves German. Like, they're not the real British. They just took over that. They took over that land and started calling that their name British. You know what I'm talking about? They just that's what they do. Even now, they say that they're Native Americans, but we call them $5 Indians, right? And you know, the Native Americans, they live on reservations, and they have what do you call it? Casinos. But they don't really have casinos. It's those ones that say that they're so-called Native, that they're Native Americans, but they're not really the real Native Americans. They're white. They have a little bit of Native American here. That's because their great grandfather was a rapist, man. Was a rapist and a murderer, man, and raped a woman and raped their great grandmother. That's exactly what they did, man. And now they 0.5 Cherokee, and they want to open reservations because they can do that on that reservation because they 0.5 Cherokee. Well, you're not really they're not really Native American, right? They just want to say that they are. Let's keep going. Verse 26. And for the hairy part, man, they don't make Gillette commercials for black, Hispanic, and Native American people. They don't make Gillette commercials for the Asians. They don't make Gillette commercial for the Arabs. You know what I mean? They make them Gillette commercials for those hairy beasts, man. You ever seen the white man on the beach that haven't shaved, man? He looks like Mighty Joe Young or something. Looks like a real chimpanzee, man. And they want to call you the monkey black man, but when really they look like chimps. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Right. So even when they came out the womb, they were still fighting. They were still at it. He was like, "Nah, you can't go first." And he grabbed his heel. You come back down here. What was wrong with you? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you come back in this womb. We're gonna finish this fight. That's what that's how his brother was. They were still beefing. They were still fighting, coming out the womb. Go ahead. And his name was called.
And Salakia. And after that came out his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. Salakia. And his name was called Jacob.
So his name was called Jacob, right? So now we know Jacob and Esau are brothers, but they be beefing all the time. They fighting all the time. Go ahead.
And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare him.
Keep going.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau.
Oh, wait. So it says Esau was a cunning hunter. So the red man on the planet, right? What so-called white man on the planet. But now we're gonna call him Esau. So now we know he's Esau. He's Esau. So Esau on the planet, right? Who's the most cunning hunter on the planet? Who's the one that's gonna put deer piss all on himself when he go hunting for deer, so the deer can be attracted to him? Right? Yeah, I used to watch this show called Swamp People, and it wasn't no black people on there hunting alligators. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no Asian people on there hunting alligators. Who's always who? So Africa is full of Africans, right? Dark-skinned Africans, right? Who's over there looking at all the animals, trying to see their habitats of what they do in life. Right? It's Esau. It's not us. That's why they always getting mauled by tigers and lions and snake bites and stuff like that, because they always want to go hunt and go touch those things, go grab those things. Right? Keep going.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Salakia. Verse 28.
One second. You got to sit up. You got to sit up and read. Officer Dawid, I just said, have him read nice and strong, like.
Salakia. Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
Uh-huh. Good. Keep going. Now we're about to get into how Esau, because Esau is the firstborn. So Esau's supposed to get Esau's supposed to get the blessings, and then Jacob's supposed to get whatever's left over. But we know that's not true, because Israel got the land of milk and honey, and that's where you Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans come from. It's from Jacob, because Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and Israel had 12 sons. All right, keep going.
Verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage,
Mm-hmm.
and Esau came from the field,
right,
and he was faint.
Right. So Jacob was making pottage, right? And Esau came from the field, and he was tired and hungry, right? Go ahead.
Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint.
Right. So Esau came from the field, and he was going to pass out. He was tired. He was like, hey, man, give me some of that bread. Give me some of that pottage. Give me something to eat. I'm going to pass out, bro. I need something to eat. Go ahead.
Therefore was his name called Edom.
He says, therefore was his name called Edom, right? Keep going. So now we know that Esau was changed to Edom. That's where we get Edomites from the Bible. So he's the progenitor of Edom, of the nation of Edom, from the Edomites. Go ahead.
Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Right. Because so Jacob was a plain man, but he was always hustling. You know what I'm talking about? Just like Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they was always hustling. So he was like, hey man, so all right, you want this pottage? Sell me your birthright. Give me your birthright. You feel me? You want something to eat? I'll give you something to eat. First, you gotta give me that birthright. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Salah.
Right. 31.
Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I'm at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Right. So Esau didn't even give a damn about his birthright. But Jacob being smart, I think Esau a little slow. You know what I'm talking about, to sell his birthright when you're supposed to get the all the blessings and everything that's good, and your brother's supposed to get the wasteland, right? He's supposed to get the wasteland, but you want to sell your birthright. You sold your birthright. Keep going.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
Right. Esau didn't give a damn about his birthright. Esau didn't give a damn about his birthright. So Jacob swooped right in and knew he didn't give a damn, and he got that birthright. So now Jacob's supposed to get the birthright now, and not Esau. Let's go to Genesis 27 and 26. So Cain, Esau is the rebirthment of Cain. That's why Esau was born with that mark of Cain, because the mark of Cain was that skin color. Go ahead. That red skin. To let everybody know, stop, don't touch them.
Which one?
Genesis chapter 27, verse 26. Because before we tell you the crimes of Esau, first we have to identify Esau. We have to identify Esau. Go ahead.
And his father Isaac said unto him, Come here now, and kiss me, my son.
Right. Because so I'm gonna give you the Isaac. Isaac was sick. He was in his old age and he was sick. He was dying. So before he died, he had to give everybody their birthright. Go up to verse 20. Hold on, get there with you real quick. 27 and 20. No. Yeah, go to 18. Go to 18. So Jacob, Israel, Isaac is sick. His father is sick, right? The boy's father's just sick. So he's feel like he's about to die. So he's about to give their birthright. You know what I mean? Pass them down their blessings, right? That's what he's about to do. So he's about to pass them down their blessings, but Esau knows. Jacob knows that he got the birthright from Esau, and then his mother knows also that he has to get that Jacob gets the birthright, because the angel told her earlier that the older shall serve the younger, right? All right, you ready?
Select. Verse
17.
Verse 17.
Or you can 18.
27, verse 18.
Yeah.
27, verse 18. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son?
Right. He said, Who am I? Who art thou, my son? Keep going.
Verse 19. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn.
Right. So Jacob said, I am Esau, your firstborn. Right. First, he dressed himself up like Esau with the lambs. Not the lamb with the sheep skin. That way he could feel hairy like Esau. You know what I mean? Then he went in there and said that he was Esau, so he could get that birthright. Keep going.
I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee.
It says, sit and eat my venison.
I have done according to sit and eat my venison, that thy soul may bless me.
Right, that you may get that he may get the blessings. Right. Now let's go back to 26. Let's go to 26 now.
So like 27 and 26.
Mm-hmm. Verse 26.
And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now and kiss me, my son.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 27. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed.
Right. It says because Esau used to smell like the field, because he was always in the field hunting. Right. He smelled like a wild man, like somebody that's been outside. He smelled like an outside person. Go ahead. So he smelled like an outside man. So now Isaac think he's giving the birthright to Esau, but he's really giving it to Jacob.
What is it?
28.
28. Chapter 28. Chapter 20, okay, so.
Chapter 27, verse 28.
Chapter 27, verse 28. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth,
right?
And
He's
plenty of corn and wine.
Right. He said, God give you the dew of heaven. Yeah. What's up? Go ahead. So he said, give him the dew of heaven and the fatness of earth. Right. So he said so the dew of heaven is the everything that heaven touches. The dew of heaven, right? And it says the fatness of the earth. And the fatness of the earth would be all the healthy places, all the good places that's like the land of milk and honey. What was promised to Israel, right? The fatness of the earth. And it says, and plenty corn and wine, right? Because back then, eating corn and drinking wine, that was something that royalty did, right? Everybody wasn't drinking wine and eating corn. Corn is hard. Well, corn ain't hard to grow, but corn is something that like a delicacy. It's something that can feed multitudes, right? You ever seen corn? You ever seen those cornfields out there? Cornfields go on forever and ever and ever and ever, right? So that's what the corn and the wine, right? Verse 29, it says, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee, and the Lord thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Right. So now he's saying that all the nations of the earth is gonna serve you. Salakia. Remember, that was supposed to be Esau's birthright, but that's not Esau's birthright. It was supposed to be Esau's birthright, but Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, so Jacob's getting that birthright. So it says, let the people serve thee, and the nations bow down to thee, and the Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. You 12? All right, no sweat. Go ahead. I'm reading it. Show me how to put sir. Come, sir. No sweat. Come, sir. Strong Lord Christ. Ooh, go ahead. All right. So verse 29 said, let the people serve thee, and let the nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Right? So now he's giving them the blessings of being the rulers of the earth. Right? Because the firstborn is supposed to be the ruler of the earth, but then again, Esau sold his birthright, and Jacob came right in there, and he's getting his birthright. He shouldn't have sold it. He didn't care. Esau didn't care about his birthright. He didn't give a damn about his birthright. Right? It says, cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. Right? Verse 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. Right, so now Esau comes in from hunting. Jacob dipped out. Jacob's like, I got my blessing. You feel me? I'm gone now. I'm gonna go over here, do this, do whatever he was doing. And then now Esau comes in wanting to get his blessing. Verse 31, it says, and he also made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And verse 32, and Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. Verse 33, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said,
where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten. I have eaten of all before thou comest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. Verse 35. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. Right? So he said he came and have taken away thy blessing. Verse 36. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. Talking about when Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. Now you're saying that he hustled him into that, but he didn't hustle him into that. We just read it how Esau wanted the red pottage, and Jacob was like, well, you want the pottage, you can sell me your birthright. And Esau was like, yeah, go ahead, take the birthright. I don't care about that damn thing. He said he don't care about the birthright. That's what he said. He said he didn't care about the birthright. Give me that red pottage. Give me something to eat. Right? He said he supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved the blessing for me? Verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. Right? So he said Jacob is your Lord. He said, and you supposed to be his servant. I gave that to him. He said, how I gave it to him, it was because he came in and got the blessing while you was out there trying to hunt and try to be a cunning hunter and look at all the lions and tigers and bears and put deer pits on yourself and hunt the deer. Salakia. He said I was giving away your birthright. I don't know what to tell you. Oh man, come on, good plan. Have blessing for me. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Verse 38. He says, and Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? He said, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Right. So now he's crying. He's crying to his father Isaac. Like, oh, please, you ain't got not one blessing for me. You don't give me nothing, but you didn't care about your birthright or your blessings. But now he's talking, oh, you didn't give me nothing. You ain't gonna give me nothing. I need something. Right. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling should be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live. Right? So he said he's going to give him the fatness of the earth, and he's going to give him the dew of heaven, right? But he's going to be able to spread everywhere. Right? And he said, but thy sword shalt thou live. Now, how did the white man get America? Right, because Esau is the so-called white man. So how did he get America? He got America by murdering 77 million Native Americans. Right, he got America by slaughtering over 200 million so-called Hispanic tribes, man. Right? How did he get so much free labor? By stealing this the so-called by stealing the so-called black people from by stealing the tribe of Judah from everywhere, man. That's how he became great over here in America, by being wicked and being evil, and by murdering and by strength of his armies, man. And that's the same thing goes with Rome, right? And the same thing goes with with Greece back when Alexander the Greek, man. They were with Alexander the Greek, man, they conquered most of the known world then. And then Rome came in and conquered what they conquered and damn near more. And now we have America here on the planet, and America is conquering everything right now. And they just told the Chinese that if the Chinese invade Taiwan, that they're ready to go to war, man. What are their dealings way over there in Taiwan? Why does the white man need to be way over there in Taiwan? Because it says, verse 40, and thy sword shalt thou live, and by thy sword shalt thou live. So by their nuclear weapons is how they live. By their M16s is how they live. By the AR-15s is how they live. By their missiles is how they live. By their navy is how they live. How they live. What they say in the Marines is that they say you kill one Marine, he doesn't die. They multiply. That's what they say in the Marines. They say the Marines are trained killers. Right? That's how they get everything on the planet. They don't get on. They don't. So even with the so-called Native Americans, right? With the so-called Native Americans, with the tribe of Gad, they said they made over 500 peace treaties. They kept 0 peace treaties. They can't even keep peace, man. They could say they want peace, but then they're gonna go right in and they're gonna murder everybody, man. They're gonna give you smallpox blankets. That's what they do. That's what they do. When 9/11, when they hit those towers in 9/11, ESAU started a whole war over there with all the Arab countries. First, they went into Iraq and they bombed Iraq for 24 hours, man. 24 hours straight, killed men, women, and children. Right? And then they're gonna turn around and say, "Oh, well, it wasn't Al Qaeda, it was the Taliban." But you just bombed that country for 24 hours straight. You just bombed that. You've been at war with that country, and then they move to a whole different country. That's what they do, man. That's what they do. They try to go everywhere and they try to bully everybody, man. Right now they told Russia, another group of Edomites, right? Another group of Edomites. They told Russia, if you invade Ukraine, we're ready to go to war with you too. Why are they trying to fight all these wars? How are they going to fight all these wars? How are they going to fight all these wars? And you got Proud Boys and Antifa out here on the streets of America, these white gangs that are destroying America. How are you going to fight battles on all frontiers and then fight a battle at home with Democrats and Republicans, man? How are they going to do that, man? How are they going to do that? That's why this place is on the way down, because white people always want to fight. And you can't fight forever, man. You can't war forever, man. You can't always be at war. Where we at? Okay, this is verse 40. It says, "And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt thou serve, and shalt serve thy brother." Right? So there he is right there. So Esau's supposed to be serving us, man. The so-called white man is supposed to be serving Jacob, man. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And it says, "And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." Verse 41. And it says, "And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, when I will slay my brother Jacob." See, you see how Esau has the same mentality as Cain. Cain actually went through with murdering his brother, but Jacob didn't. But he and then Cain and Esau said, "Right now, my father's sick." He said, "But when after all this mourning and stuff is over with, I'm gonna kill Jacob." Oh yeah, I'm murdered now. I'm gonna kill that guy. You see how Cain and Abel have? I mean, how Cain and Esau have the same mentality. Esau is the Cain reborn. That's that same mentality. That's just like nowadays. That's just like nowadays. They want to murder and kill and hurt blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans any way they can. Whether it's with the food that they serve us, whether it's with their religions that they press upon us, right? They just won't let us have no peace, no anything. If they could just leave blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans alone and let us handle our own, we could probably grow to a great nation. But they keep on trying to murder us. They doing this, they doing that. They putting abortion clinics in our neighborhood. They putting drugs in our neighborhood. They're doing all these types of wicked things so they can get an upper hand on us, because they know that once we come back to serving our power, that it's over. It's done for them. That is done for them. So he said he's going to slay his brother Jacob. Verse 42. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Right. So now Rebekah's telling Jacob, hey, you need to go ahead and get away from here, man. He said Esau's gonna kill you. That's what he wants to do. Your older brother wants to murder you. Right? Verse 43. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him for a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? All right. Now we can drop that. Now we're gonna get 1 Samuel, man. Ooh, hey, bro. First Samuel 15. 1 Samuel 15, chapter verse 1. So in this time until Samuel, right? So because we're gonna go forward, but then we're gonna go back in time and to get the dealings that Esau Edomites had with the Israelites when they were in the wilderness and they was running through the wilderness. But this is how the Most High feels about Israel, right? So Jacob went off to Laban, got him to 2 wives, right? Came back and or got him 2 wives, and then he had his 12 sons. That's when he had the vision about fighting with the angel. His name was changed to Israel, and then he had 12 sons of Israel, right? And they became great. But at the same time, Esau is doing his thing at Mount Seir. Esau is doing his thing in Mount Seir too. Esau's having kids and getting wives and stuff like that. So he's doing his thing in Mount Seir also. And so the Edomites are growing strong too, and Israel's growing strong. Right. So then Israel went into Egypt, and then the Ramses and them started beefing with them and started beef with the Israelites, and then the whole Exodus story happened where the Most High killed all the Egyptians so Israel can go. Right, and that's what happened. And then after that time in the wilderness, we got to our own land, and then now Samuel is the prophet. Now Samuel is the prophet. Is that Samuel also said unto Saul, and Saul is the king, right? Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Right. So he said, listen to the voice of the Lord, of the word of the Lord. Verse 2. Right. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, which I remember that which Amalek did to Israel. Amalek is a tribe of one of the tribes of Edom. That's what Amalek is. Amalek is Amalek will be like the so-called Jewish man. The strong ones of the most wicked of Esau. They're all wicked, but Esau, they're all wicked, but Amalek is one of the most wicked of Esau. They do the most dirt. They did the most dirt to Israelites, right? So the Most High said, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. It says, now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling ox and sheep, camel and ass. Right? So the Most High told him, the Most High went and told him, the Most High went and told Saul, he said, hey man, go over there and kill all the men, all the women, all the children. You feel me? He said the suckling ox. So the baby ox, the sheep, the camel, and the ass. Kill everything. Kill all their beasts and kill all of them. That's what the Most High told Samuel. He said, because he ain't forgot what Amalek did to you in the wilderness. He said, when you came from Egypt, he said he ain't forgot. The Most High said he ain't forgot what those Edomites did to Israel in the wilderness. And now we're a great nation. We got to know. We got a king. We got armies. He said, go over there and kill them all. Right? He said, you better obey the Lord. Right? And it said, and Saul gathered, verse 4, and Saul gathered the people together and numbered them into Telaim. It says 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. Right? It says Saul came to the city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, and get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For he shewed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. Right, so he went and he killed all the people with the edge of the sword. Right, that's what he was commanded to do. But let's keep reading. Verse 9. But Saul and the people spared Agag the best of the sheep and of the oxen and of the fatlings and the good lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused that they destroyed utterly. So everything that was sick, they killed it. They killed all the men, all the women, all the children, but they left Agag, the king. They left him alive. They left some of the women alive too. Right? Oh no, he spared Agag. And the best of the sheep and the oxen, he took all that. They took all that with them. They were supposed to kill everything, but no, they took something. That's just like Israel that's just like Black, Hispanic, Native Americans to be, I'm not gonna say disloyal, but to be hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious, man. Like the scriptures say, that's just like us. Right, that's all I want for that. Now let's go to Numbers chapter 20, verse 14. Let's go to Numbers chapter 20, verse 14. Let's see. Let's see what the Amalekites did when we was coming out of Egypt. Right, when we was coming out of Egypt, we was coming out of Egypt and we was trying to pass through Edom. Let's see what the Amalekites did. This is Numbers chapter 20, verse 14. It says, and Moses sent messengers to Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us, right? He said, so he sent the letter to his brother. He said, man, you know everything that happened to us, man. Out there in Egypt, bro. You my brother. You know what I mean? You know everything that happened to us out there, right? All that befallen us. How our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers, right? Because the Egyptians started to murder us and kill us, man. It says, and when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel and hath brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in uttermost of thy border. Let us pass, I pray thee, though thy country, we will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway, and we will not turn to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed through thy borders. So they just wanted to pass through. They just wanted to pass through the borders, man. They just wanted to pass through where they was living at, man. That's all the Israelites want to do. They just want to pass through. They was gonna go straight through. They wasn't gonna touch no food. They wasn't gonna touch no water or anything like that. Right? Let's see what he say. Verse 18. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. Always want to bully people. Always want to say they're gonna do. Hey, we'll drop bombs on you. That's what they always want to say. We'll drop bombs on you. They already did that to the so-called to Ammon and Moab, and Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Hiroshima. The only people that ever drop nuclear bombs is the so-called white man, is the Edomites, man. They're the only people that drop bombs. That's because they are blessed with that sword, man. They are blessed with that sword. That's what that is, man. They are blessed with the sword, man. They are blessed with those military weapons, those military might. And it's been like that forever, man. Forever. How they took over Greece, because they were mercenaries they're not the real Macedonians neither, but they were mercenaries for the Macedonians. And then eventually they just went and took over Macedonia, took over their kingship, took over their. They say, we're ruling this now. Who's gonna stop us? And that was Philip's. Alexander's father was Philip III. Philip II was the one that took over Macedonia, man. Real talk. So they're not the real Greeks either. They're not the real anything, man. Where they go, they take over stuff. And they change their name to be that. So it's like it's them. But it's really not theirs. Right? And then they took over the rest of Greece. That happened with Alexander's dad. And then Alexander took over Greece. Took over when his father died. He took over the armies of Greece. And they took over and they took over all the other lands, man. They start taking over all the other lands. They defeated the Persians. King that's not Xerxes, it's Darius. They knocked over King Darius, man, and started going more east, man, and more east. They went down into Egypt, man. They was on a war tear. It was on a war tear. We're gonna get into that in a couple weeks. I'm gonna get into Alexander. I know a lot about Alexander. And then after that, after Alexander died, his kingdom was broken up, and that's when the time of the Maccabees come into play, right? So the time of the Maccabees come into play, the kingdom was broken up, and Seleucid took over Jerusalem, and Mattathias and his was it Mattathias? Yeah, Mattathias and his sons Judas Maccabee and them, and they went to war, man. They went to war with them. But then as soon as they got done beating the Greeks, The Romans was raising up, trying to take, and they didn't want to go to war with the Romans, with more Edomites. So they just went over there. They did a deal with them, and we should know now that doing deals with making covenants with the other nations, especially with the Edomites, it does not work for us. We have a covenant with the Most High, man. We have a covenant with the Most High. Right. Verse 8. So now we're going to go back to the scriptures. Verse 18. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. Right. With some bully tactics, man. Now I'm going to come after you with the sword, with the bully tactics. And the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by the highway. And if I and my cattle drink of thy water, right? If they drink any of your water, what I'm talking about, me or the cattle drink any of the water, then I will pay for it. I will only without doing any of these else go through on my feet. Right? He said, we just trying to pass through, bro. Like if anything happened with some water or some drink, anything like that, like we'll pay for it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing, like just let us pass through. It'd be damn near begging them to let us pass through. I will pay for it. We're doing on my feet. Right, verse 20. Verse 20. And he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. So he gathered all the armies of Edom and he came out. They came out like, I told you, back up. And that's crazy that they won't let their brother come slide through their lands. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, but that's just like now, man. That's just like now. When the Haitians were at the border, the tribe of Levi, you know what I'm talking about? The Lord's chosen people was at the border in Mexico. They wouldn't let them come over here and get safe passage, man. But you know who they did let? They did let those Ishmaelites come over here, man. Those Arabs come over here on planes and put them in Airbnbs in various cities. They did do that. They let them come over here. When the tribe of Issachar tried to come over here across the border, what they do? They call them illegal aliens, deport them back, and then stop them at the border and put their children in cages and lock up the parents, man, and let them sleep with foil blankets, man. They deal treacherously with Israelites, man, with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. These so-called white people, they deal treacherously with us. Why? Because they've been doing it since we've been fighting since the womb. We've been beefing since the womb, bumping heads since the womb. Even when we came out the womb, we were still fighting each other, man. Because that's what Edomites and Israelites do. We're gonna fight each other, just like that's what brothers do. We're gonna fight each other, but we should not be doing whatever they do or doing what they tell us, man. They're oppressing us for what, man? Oh, man. Verse 21. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. Right. So we was on the run. We was on the run from Egyptians. You know what I'm talking about? Because our Lord just laid waste to them, and we tried to go to our brothers, the Amalekites, the Edomites, tried to pass through Edom. He was like, "Nah, man, hell no. They won't. They just won't. They just won't be deal righteously with us, man." Now we're gonna get some more occurrences between Edom and Israelites, man. Let's go to Deuteronomy 25. Deuteronomy 25, 17. We're going to start at 17. Deuteronomy 25 and 17. It says, remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way when ye were come forth out of Egypt. Verse 18. How he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee. right? Because when we was coming from Egypt, the Amalekites slid behind us and started killing the women and children, man. That was in the back, because they go that when you're traveling, the women and children go in the back, man. The women and children go in the back just in case, because army is supposed to deal with coming up front with you, but not these Edomites. Edomites are going to deal with you however they want to deal, however they want to deal with you. There's no honor in war with them. Right? The hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, right? Because the feeble are like the old, the women, the children, the sick. You know what I mean? They don't want to fight. They don't want to fight the warriors that can war, man. And when thou was faint and weary, and he feared not God. And this how forgiving the Most High is. It says, therefore it shall be when the Lord thy God has given thee rest from all thine enemies round about in the land of which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, thou shalt blot out and remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And thou shalt not forget. Right, because the Most High is a man of war, man. The Most High is a man of war, and he don't play that ish. He don't play that ish. They don't play that ish. So the Most High is telling us to remember that. Remember what these Edomites did to you, man. That's what blacks and Hispanics, Native Americans don't do to this day, man. They just think everything is all good since Martin Luther King got you the right to vote. You know what I'm talking about? Martin Luther King got you the right to vote. Now all your troubles is over. Not la man. The Lord said, verse 19, it says, therefore it shall be when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek, and under heaven thou shalt not forget it. You feel me? It said, don't forget what Amalek did to you. Hell no, we ain't forgetting. That's why I read that in 1 Samuel. Salakia. I read that in 1 Samuel when the Most High told Samuel to go tell Saul to go smite all of the Amalekites, to kill everything over there. He said, I remember what they did to you. You know what I'm talking about? Now y'all great army. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all defeated all of the y'all defeated the Canaanites, y'all in the land of milk and honey. Now let's go deal with the Amalekites. He ain't forget what they did. The Most High ain't forget what they did. Just like now. The Most High is not forgetting what these Edomites are doing to us over here. They're not forgetting about what blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans go through, man. The Most High ain't forgot about the Trail of Tears. The Most High ain't forgot about Battle at Wounded Knee. You know what I mean? The Most High ain't forgot none of this that's going on over here. He ain't forgot about Trayvon Martin. He ain't forgot about George Floyd. He ain't forgot about Breonna Taylor. He ain't forgot about Latasha Harlins, man. Right? The Most High God don't forget. The Most High God does not forget. He ain't forgot all those abortion clinics in your neighborhood, man. He ain't forgot about the putting all the drugs in your neighborhood, man. He ain't forgot about crack. And he damn sure ain't forgot about the war on drugs, man. Who locked up all your blacks, Hispanics, Native American men, man. These fathers. And that's why these kids running around here today with no guidance, man. And the only real guidance is coming from the I.S.U.P.K, man, giving these kids a future. So a home, a nationality, man. That's the only place is giving that is the I.S.U.P.K, man. Nobody else. That's it on that. Now let's go to Ezekiel 25 and 12. Where we 25 and 12. Now we're going to go to Ezekiel 25 and 12. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom." Right? Remember, Edom is that red man that we were talking about. Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman. Teman is like they're smart ones, they're scientists. Like even though America reigns hell with the nuclear bomb, the ones that created the nuclear bomb were the Germans. So Teman is the Germans. That's some smart ones, man. That's the ones that created. And if you ever seen what's that movie called? Captain America, the first Avenger. Even though they made that whatever made Captain America strong, they made that over here in America. It was Germans that made that, man. It was Germans that made that. So they even hide things in their movies to where you can see that. Just like the Germans made the nuclear bomb, and America just stole that design and didn't drop the bombs. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. We're gonna read verse 12 again. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them." Right, because that's what he did. That's what they did. They took vengeance upon the house of Judah, man. And Judea. They took vengeance upon us, man. Right? And they offended us, man. Just like when they wouldn't let us walk, when they wouldn't let us through when we was coming from Egypt, man. They wouldn't let us through. And then we told them we'll pay for the water, whatever we use, and they still came out against us with the swords. Like, man, we'll kill y'all. Like, no love for their brothers, man. Right? That's why the Lord said, remember what they did. Remember what they did. Don't forget what they did. And then they go back to, and then you can go back before that when we was running from Egypt. They came out and they murdered our grandmothers, our mothers, our children, the old, the sick. That's why the Most High sent Saul to kill everything. Most High sent Saul to kill everything. He said, kill all of them. Don't leave nothing alive. He said, kill the men, the women, the infants. He said the suckling. He said the suckling ox, the ass, the sheep. He said, go kill everything. It's just Saul did not follow that order. But the Most High wanted everything over there dead. The Most High don't play about his chosen seed. The Most High does not play about Israelites, man. That's why this place is going to be burnt up, thus saith the Lord. Now we're going to go to Amos chapter 1, verse 11. Amos chapter 1, verse 11. Amos chapter 1, verse 11. All right. Now we're in Amos chapter 1, verse 11. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for four, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the places of Bozrah. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Lord." So the Lord ain't playing, man. The Lord is gonna send fire. He's a fire upon Teman. He's gonna destroy all of these Edomites for us, man. Because they want to deal treacherously with us, man. They want to murder us, man. They want to kill us, man. So they reap what they sow, man. They gonna get it from the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. But remember, you black man, you shouldn't take vengeance into your own hands by taking up arms and going against. You shouldn't do that. Don't take up arms and go against the white man. Don't do that, because things will be taken against you 7-fold, 70-fold. Why? Because the Lord said so, man. The Lord said vengeance is his, man. He's gonna destroy Esau. He's gonna destroy Esau. And everybody that deals with Esau, man. All the kings of the earth, man. Now we're gonna go to Ezekiel 35 and 5. Where we at? Ezekiel 35 and 5. I'll give y'all a second to get there. Ezekiel 35 and 5. What's up? It's Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. Right? It said because the so-called white man has had a perpetual hatred. Has had a perpetual hatred, a forever hatred, a never-ending hatred. Right? For the children of Israel, man. And it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, because they had a perpetual hatred. No, I'm gonna get that next one. Right? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. You know what I mean? In the time of their tribulation, man, in the time of them needing help, or needing to be punished, or needing help. It says in the time of their calamity, in the time where their iniquity had an end. Right? In the time that we were sinning against our power, and he wasn't with us no more. The Edomites came in, and they took total advantage of our downtime, of our tribulation. They took total advantage, man. They did things like took our name from us. I can see if they would just made us work, you know what I mean, let us keep the commandments. But they took our nationality away from us. They took our ability to be a nation away from us. And then they were beating us, hanging us, ripping babies out of our stomach. It was raping us and all that. And not to mention the things what they did to the so-called Native Americans and the so-called the Hispanic tribes. They started doing all these wicked things. And next week, that's what I'm coming with. I got a couple of videos I want to show. I had a couple articles I'm going to bring out. But first, we have to identify who Esau is, man. First, we have to identify who this red man is, man. This red man is a so-called white man that he calls himself today because he's running from his crimes. You know what I mean? And the things that he did against Israel, man, the Lord is gonna make him pay for it. We're gonna start at verse 5 again. Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Remember, because Esau was blessed with the sword, right? It says, by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Verse 6, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. All right, it says, since you didn't hate blood, blood is going to pursue thee. And the Lord said that. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God. Because the Lord said this. The Lord hates Esau, man. Matter of fact, let's get Romans 9 and 13. Romans 9 and 13. All right. We're going to start at Romans 12. Romans 9 and 12. It said, it was said unto her, the elder should serve the younger. Right? Because that's going back to what we read earlier about how the elder should serve the younger. Right? As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Says he said he hated Esau, man. It said Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. So it's just going back to back in Genesis. This is Romans, the New Testament. This is thousands of years later, but it's going back to the beginning. Why did he hate Esau? Hey, that's what the Lord said, because the Lord made a vessel for honor and it made a vessel for dishonor. Made something he could show his power in raising a nation in, or in that his God's laws can be in, and show his power on how to destroy one of the strongest nations that was blessed with the sword. All right. Verse 12. We're gonna go back up to verse 12. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 13. As it was written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Right? Verse 14. It said, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? It says, God forbid. So hell no, there's no unrighteousness with the Most High. There's no unrighteousness with the Most High. The Most High loves who he wants to love, hates who he wants to hate. Verse 15 says, for he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. Right? He said, I do what I want. I'll have mercy on who I want to have mercy on. And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. This on we're going to skip down to verse 21. It says, hath not the potter power over the clay? Right? Right? Because the Most High has power over everything. The Most High created everything. That's why it says, has not the potter power over the clay? So don't the potter have power over the clay? If the potter is potting, you ever made like clay pots? If the potter is making clay, spins the wheel and it goes all the way around, you know what I mean? And he's making it to a flower pot, a vase, you know what I mean? Whatever he wants to make it into, he's shaping it. So don't the potter have power over the clay, right? Of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor. Right? That's what he made. He made Israelites unto honor. He made you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans unto honor. And then he made the so-called white man, the Edomites, of dishonor. That's what happens. That's what happened. He made Edomites to dishonor, and he made Israelites to honor. That's what happened. That's what he did. Why did he do that? Hey. Neither child, matter of fact, one second. Let's go back up to verse 11. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. Right. Because he said the kids didn't do nothing when they was born, or before they was born. The Most High knew what he was doing. The Most High knew who he was going to honor and who he was going to dishonor. The Most High knew who he was going to make a vessel of honor and who he was going to make the vessel of dishonor. Who he was going to make the righteous and who he was going to make the devil. Man. The Most High already knew that. It says, for the children being not born yet, neither having done any good or evil. Right. So who are we to question what the Lord wants? What the Lord does? We're nobody to question what the Lord does. The Lord does what he wants. The Lord does what he wants. He killeth and he maketh alive. He makes vessels of honor and he makes vessels of dishonor. That's what the Lord does. That's up to the Lord. We ain't got no say-so on what he does. Israelites just need to be happy that we're not Edomites. That's what we need to do. We just need to be happy that we're not Edomites, that we're not them other. Be happy that you're not a heathen nation. You're not from a heathen nation. All right. And with that, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak to all the brothers, Yahweh Shem Alatan by Shem Yahweh to all the sisters. We're the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. And we were teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth of the Bible since 1969. And we're going to do the announcements and the Lord's Prayer. This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shelter themselves of the world. If they need any transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commitment. You can find this in Numbers, the 18th chapter, verse 21, or Malachi, the 3rd chapter, verses 8 through 10. Ma'ashra means 10th in Hebrew. 10% of any penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or a teacher. Priest fund, free-will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever the amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The feast Purim on the 14th day of the 15th month, or the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, starting February 14th and 15th of 2022. You can find this in Esther, the 9th chapter, chapter 20, verse 31. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And this includes the security announcements. Now we're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Tawa, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Natanlanawa, Wacham, Khal, Yawam, Wasalaknanawa, Kabawath Yanawa, Kasalaknanawa, Kabawath Yanawa, Walala, Taba'ayanawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Haishayanawa, Mayan, Ra, Khaya, Wakha, Hamalakwat, Walala, Wa'ata Pa'arath, Lai Walumyum, Amen. Now the Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever so be it. Amen. Now we're going to do a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Madu Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbarakatham. Yadamatan. We're going to start turning face to sisters. Courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Madu Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Lathan by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, Clash Smith.